Hello YouTube, this is Kiryu904, and here I present to you my very first mini-series review. Having seen the recently released second half of Denis Villeneuve's adaptation of Dune, I'm eager to share my overall thoughts on the film. But before that, I figured I'd discuss the adaptation which preceded it, that being Frank Herbert's Dune, the second on-screen depiction of the novel that aired on the Sci-Fi Channel back in 2000. And just a quick warning before we begin, this review will contain spoilers. Written and directed by John Harrison, the three-part miniseries basically has the same story as Dune 1984, so I won't be recapping the whole thing like I did for my previous Dune review. Though it follows the novel more closely than the David Lynch movie, it still has a few differences from the book. It contains certain plot points that weren't present in Dune 84, such as Paul and Chani's son, as well as his tragic death at the hands of the Harkonnens. In contrast, the character Princess Irulan Carino, daughter of Shaddam Carino IV, has a more extensive role here than in the novel. In fact, she takes the place of another character, Margot Fenring, who visits Vladimir Harkonnen's nephew, Fade Raltha, on Giedi Prime in the book. But in the miniseries, it's Irulan who visits him for different reasons. Another difference from the book is the world's technology. While some of it is accurate to the novel, there's much that strayed from the source material. A notable example are the ornithopters, which possess components that mimic the flight of birds in the novel. However, in the miniseries, they simply resembled generic spaceships. As for characterization, I didn't like the miniseries' portrayal of Paul Atreides at first. He started out quite petulant, and I found him kind of intolerable. But he did get better as time went on and fully resembled his novel counterpart by the end. I did enjoy the miniseries' version of Vladimir Harkonnen played by Ian McNeice. Unlike the Kenneth McMillan version from Lynch's Dune, who was so over-the-top I couldn't take seriously, Ian's portrayal was more subdued, but still had moments of wit that didn't compromise the overall menace. As for the rest, such as Duke Leto, Lady Jessica, Chani, and Duncan Idaho, they stuck pretty close to their book versions. The miniseries also has some good production values, though admittedly the CG effects are pretty dated by today's standards. I liked the set designs and the costumes were very unique, even though some looked a bit goofy. I felt that the themes of Frank Herbert's novel were well represented in this miniseries. It also received a sequel in 2003 titled Frank Herbert's Children of Dune, which adapted the second and third Dune books, Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. In closing, I thoroughly enjoyed Frank Herbert's Dune. It's an entertaining miniseries and a more faithful adaptation of the original novel. Well, that concludes this miniseries review. I'd like to know what you guys thought of this, and check back in soon for my review of Dune Part 2. Be sure to leave a comment, thumbs up if you enjoyed this miniseries review, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. You can also follow me on Twitter. Goodbye, and have a good day, everyone.